Hello everyone, I hope you all had a great Christmas. I thought I'd do a video, just close out 2024 by picking out some of the best albums that I picked up in November and December that I haven't yet shown. Now I meant to do this video a little bit earlier, I never got around to doing it, and because of the delay more and more records arrived. So I've got a pile here including an album that is as yet unopened, and it is the most expensive single album I've ever bought. It's a new one. So, buying records. What I tend to do is I've got an eye for a bargain. It's my procurement background. I'm always looking for value for money, so I'm scouring Amazon, maybe eBay. I'm certainly starting in the cheap racks whenever I visit a record fair or a record shop. And these have been bought online, but they've also been bought in locations like Lancaster in Lancashire, Newcastle, Leamington Spa, and Bath, all in the last few weeks. But I thought if I don't do this video now, it'll never get done, because 2025 will start with 2 or 3 tags, including the Sad Bastard tag that someone, Gav Axman Spins, in fact, has nominated me for. I don't know why. So these are the best of the records I picked up in the last couple of months that I haven't already shown. Right, number 1, Tom York and The Eraser. I finally got a hold of this album. I'm a pretty decent Radiohead fan. I'm not quite a completist, but I think I've got just about everything they've ever done. And when this album came out, I remember it was £10, and so many times I had it in my shopping basket on Amazon. I never actually got around to buying it, and it showed up for twice that price in December, and I finally bought it, and it's bloody great. It's really good. It's like it's kind of electronic Radiohead, no surprise there, but it's also can you describe Radiohead or Tom York as being a little bit more soulful? Maybe. Good album though, really enjoying it. I was too young to be into this guy when he first started selling boatloads of records, but I've been catching up over the years, and I picked this one up again, good value for money, and it's Now by Graham Nash, his latest, maybe his last album. What's it like? Well, it's exactly what you would expect, and it is very pleasant. There's one lousy track on it, but fortunately I won't be able to take that track's name in vain because I can't remember which one. But it's a nice album apart from one track. I've got this album on CD. I wanted to get it on vinyl. It needs a bit of a clean up, but I think it's in pretty decent nick, and it's Feeling Bitchy by Millie Jackson. So no doubt the 6-inch pianist will be familiar with that album. Looking forward to getting into that one. Another kind of soul artist, I picked this one up on the Marketplace on the Quayside at Newcastle, and the back end of November when I was up there to see Love and Money's James Grant. And this, I've been looking for this one. This is not exactly a grail, but I've been looking for this one on vinyl because I used to have it on cassette for years and played it lots, and that is Once Upon a Time by the great Donna Summer. Double album, concept album. Absolutely love this. Looking forward to giving that a good spin one more time. I think I've got tracks from this album on CD already in a little mini box set, but this was again something I had to get a hold of, and that is live tracks from John Martin. And he's got David Gilmour playing on some of these tracks. Phil Collins appears on vocals on one of the tracks. It's really well recorded. It's very, very good. If you don't know John Martin, well, where have you been? Really good stuff. So far, I think most of these albums I've got on CD, including this one. But again, I pulled the trigger on this one after delaying buying it for maybe a year because I think it's going to go out of print, and that is Paddy McAloon's Prefab Sprout version, which is just a renaming of the artiste, and there's I Troll the Megahertz, and this is a 3-sided double album. This is late night. In fact, it is about late night listening to radio, trolling the megahertz, listening to talk shows, call-in programs very, very late at night. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a bit of an acquired taste. Takes a bit of time to getting into, but it is absolutely lovely. Talking of lovely, there's a couple here in a row which are absolutely gorgeous, and that is starts with Jordan the Comeback by Prefab Sprout from about 1991, I think it is. Doesn't really matter. Double album. I got this when it came out. I've got the vinyl version, but it's a single album, and there's about an hour's worth of music squeezed onto a single album. Maybe a little bit more, in fact. But this has just arrived a couple of days ago, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. This is my favourite Prefab Sprout album. It's absolutely beautiful. And if you listen to One of the Broken, check that out on YouTube. Gorgeous. This was one which I went to a record shop in Leamington Spa, and this was in the rack marked sale, but it was unpriced, and it's £20 online. And I went to the counter and said, how much is this one? And he said, £5. And it's a 10-inch album by Nick Cave called 7 Psalms. Side A, it's him reciting psalms, poems that he's written himself, but with Warren Ellis and himself doing the music. All the usual Warren Ellis and Nick Cave music, bit of violin, piano, few sound effects, ethereal sounding. It's absolutely gorgeous. And side 2 is mostly an instrumental, but that's brilliant. If you like Nick Cave and you like his later, more reflective material, this is fantastic. Sadly, I saw him in November at Birmingham's NEC, and it was the biggest disappointment of the year. The volume was turned up about 30% too high, and it was like all the subtleties and nuances of his material of the last 20 years, apart from Grinderman stuff, the rocker stuff, all that nuance was kind of pushed to one side, and it was a real rock and roll over-the-top show. Disappointing, really, because I just love him. Here's those two again, Nick Cave and Warren Ellis. And I'm not going to pronounce that one. It's in French, but it's a soundtrack to a movie about a snow leopard, I think. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm not that keen on their soundtrack material. Got a few of them. Not great, but this one is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Fantastic. Definitely have to see that film. This one was recommended by Ben Rankins Down Under. And it's Warren Ellis again, and it's the Dirty Three. Disappointed, Ben. It sounds like improvisation at a sound check. It's going to take a bit of getting into, if you ask me. So quite disappointed with that one. But it wasn't super expensive, so I'll let you off, Ben. This one was from the Cheap Bins in Leamington Spa, and that is In Concert at the Carnegie Hall with George Benson, 1976, I think it is, with Hubert Laws on flute on a couple of tracks. Brilliant. It's mostly instrumental. Sounds great. Really, really well recorded. George's vocals come out at the end on a version of Summertime. It's fabulous. A couple of quid. What a steal. Love it. This one I've been holding back on pulling the trigger, but I thought I'm definitely going to get this one because I can't remember who it was, but somebody talked about Terry Callier on YouTube just a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to grab that album because I absolutely love it, and it's Timepiece. And I remember getting this on CD when it came out. The vinyl version omits a few tracks that are on the CD, so that's a kind of a little bit of a disappointment. It's a single album, but it's possibly the best quality pressing I've bought in ages. Not a pop or a click or anything. It's absolutely fantastic. And I saw Terry Callier in Bristol on what was probably his last tour of the UK, maybe 10 years ago, something like that. And it was really low-key gig, just him on stage with acoustic guitar, but absolutely gorgeous. This is a fantastic album. I know he's mostly famous for the stuff that he did in the early 70s, but this is brilliant. Like I say, I like to look for a bargain, and this is one that I picked up. It's a box set. The album I heard for the first time at a friend's house just 2 or 3 months ago, even though it was released in the 70s or early 80s, I can't remember, it doesn't matter. But I thought that's much better than I expected. And This box set's normally about 60 quid, but it was less than 30 quid if you pulled the trigger quickly on today's deals on Amazon. And it's Mona Bone Jacon by Cat Stevens. What an absolutely fabulous package. I'm not going to, I might do a separate review of that one, a separate video on that one, but what a bargain. Fantastic. Summer of Soul, original soundtrack. This is basically classic soul track. So what have we got here? So I'll hold it up so you can see. If you can pause the video, you can actually read that yourself, but I'm going to pick out a few. We've got B.B. King, The Fifth Dimension, David Ruffin, Edwin Hawkins singers, Staple Singers, Gladys Knight and the Pips doing I Heard It Through the Grapevine, Mongo Santa Maria doing Watermelon Man, Together by Ray Barretto, Herbie Mann, Hold On, I'm Coming, Sly and the Family Stone, Everyday People, Sing a Simple Song, and a couple of Nina Simone tracks, Backlash Blues and Are You Ready? So, double album. I won't tell you how much I paid for it, but it wasn't a lot, but I haven't got quite a few of those tracks, so I'm pleased I picked that one up. Haven't heard this one yet. Iron and Wine, Ghost on Ghost, like Iron and Wine, but haven't picked this album. This album comes with, if I remember right, yeah, comes with a CD and a 7-inch single. I think it was about a tenner. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I like Iron and Wine. A blast from the past for all you garage rock fans, and that's the debut from The Seeds. This is the double album version with an extra album of kind of demos and alternative versions and so on and so forth. Didn't have this, had a CD. In fact, I've got it on CD, but you got to have this stuff on vinyl, haven't you? A few more. Electra Fiction, Burned. I remember back, this is an offshoot of Echo and the Bunnymen, and it's got Will Sargent, Ian McCulloch. So Sargent on guitars, of course, and Ian McCulloch on vocals. This came out, I think these tracks were a series of CD singles that I bought back in the time. So it's all been compiled for Record Store Day. Was it this year? Might have been 2024. But yeah, looking forward to digging into that one. Gradually filling out my collection of Belle and Sebastian, and this is a collection of B-sides and alternative versions, this, that and the other, double album again. I've got back into these recently after seeing them back in the 80s, back when I was living in Newcastle, and that is the Toy Dolls and Wakey Wakey. So punk without the anger, as I like to describe it. Super high energy, brilliant stuff. Fantastic. One more before I open up my surprise, and that is the double album version. Is it the 40th anniversary? Maybe 50th anniversary. Oh, it says so here. Hang on. Let's see if I can find this. What is it? 50th anniversary. Oh my God. Man, we're getting so old, aren't we? And that is Bridge of Sighs by Robin Trower. The title track is absolutely fantastic. One of the great rock classics from the early 70s. But the great unsung James Dewar on vocals here. What a fantastic singer. I've no idea what he did after working with Trower, but what a voice. Beautiful, soulful voice. Anyway, so what have we got here? Oh, I've got my Iron and Wine hype sticker falling out. Make sure I don't lose that. Right, I bought this album, and look at this packaging. It's absolutely awesome. This is how you pack a vinyl album when you send it in the post. Now, I have no idea whether this was damaged before it was put in, but I can't imagine it being damaged in transit with this packing. Now, this album I bought on the day of its release back in 1976, or was it the end of 75? Doesn't matter, I should know. And I've had several copies over the years, and I've wanted a more beefed up modern version for quite some time now, and I've not been able to consider, in fact I refuse to spend the money on it, but this is a new version that's come out, and so I am going to get stuck into it. So here we go. Oh my god, the packaging is unbelievable. So you got that in there. Feel free to leave the video, you know. This is a bit indulgent in it. Oh my god, this is going to take me ages to unpack here. It's so bloody awesomely packed. Now is this going to slip out? Oh yes it is, yes it is. So let's discard that. It's got an actual stiffener on the inside as well. Now I don't want to hurry this because I don't want to damage the cover. Here we are. Oh, how exciting is this? This arrived 2 days ago. No, actually, yeah, it arrived 2 days ago. And I've restrained myself from playing it until I was able to get my ass into gear and do this video. So it is the Atlantic 75th anniversary edition, the 2LP version of A Trick of the Tail. Now I don't buy audiophile pressings unless they're cheap and I find them somewhere, but I paid full price for this one. Probably because A, I've been looking for it, and B, it's had fantastic reviews on YouTube from people whose opinion I trust. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck into that one. So that's the big final surprise, the most expensive single album, even though it's a double, because it's 2 times 45 RPM. Most expensive album I've ever bought, single album. Right, that's it. That's 2024. So I wish you all a fantastic, happy new year. For God's sake, I hope 2025 is better than 2024. I'd like to think that we're going to go through 2025 with less of a feeling of nervousness, trepidation, and fear that we might not all see the year out. So I'm looking forward. I'm kidding myself here, aren't I? It's just going to be just as turbulent as 2024. But let's hope not. Let's hope it's a good one. If you're going out on New Year's Eve, have a great time. And I'll see you next year. Thanks everybody for watching these videos I put out all the way through 2024 and before, of course. It's been great fun, and I'm going to do more, maybe a lot more in 2025. Let's hope so. Well, maybe you might not hope so, but I hope so. So I'll see you next time. Bye for now.